Okay, so I know this whole thing is kind of blown over, but yeah, I don't think I finished completely going over the whole all dreams response from the cheating allegations. So yeah, and besides, I don't think there's really like an official statement by the public or like I mean, speedrunner.com definitely released a statement, and it was like, oh, he's too lucky to cheat. He was too lucky to be able to line those all up. And there's like with a 140 billion chance, but yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I'm still going to be covering it. Personally, I think that he's just really lucky. I'm not a James fan or whatever. I do admire him, but however, I do not really like stand him or anything. So yeah. In other words, I'm going to continue analyzing the data presented uh in the document that he responded with, and and like I'm gonna do a separate project on the conclusion, but then like I'm gonna go over the bare bones of it. Right. So in the last project, I said that the data was being biased in their favor, and they weren't covering the full extent of speedruns. This is actually kind of true from what I can see and from what he sees and for the reviews on this document. But we're gonna be moving onto the first screenshot. Okay, so our first screenshot here, I'm gonna read it out. Starting from now. Again, although this does not affect the actual data, only the sample size, there is also another round, 40 gold, I believe, that was traded, but unaccounted for in the data due to lack of seeing what was traded for. Although we do not know if these trades were pearls or not, the fact of the matter is, if they were pearls, we would probably know, and if I hadn't received pearls prior to these final trades, we would definitely know what they are, which violates one of the only rules that is mentioned in binomial distribution. For identical trials, probability of success must be the same for each trial. In this case, the probability of success is not technically the same for each trial, even though it may seem like it. Because you are more likely to notice and collect enderpearls than you are to notice and collect non-enderpearl traits, the probability of the collected success actually varies depending on the situation. Meaning, if you take each time as to stop and trade your piglins as a separate data collection point, um, i.e. 21 times, the gold is unaccounted for. On top of that, one of the other keys to binomial distribution is that the outcome for one try does not affect the outcome of the other, which in this case is up for debate whether it's true or not. So he basically says that we're more likely to notice enderpearl traits than non-enderpearl traits, which makes the percentage of this kind of like vary and not stabilize. This is actually kind of true. Say if you're looking for a blue ball in a plethora of color variety of balls, then you're more likely to notice balls that are shades of blue or like cyan, light gray, turquoise or something like that. Then you are to notice like red balls, orange balls, green balls, like lime balls, and white balls. So yes, this is noticeable now, and I'm not gonna give my opinion on this because I'm not in a very analytical mind right now. Actually, a bit tired. Just think I played a lot of Minecraft today. Yeah, so my gamer sense is kind of worn out a bit. But yeah. Either way, I'm still going with this. You guys just tell me your opinions. I don't even care anymore. All right, so on to. On to the next result. Sorry, screenshot, not result. Alright. So the three possible each trade is having three possible results known as pearl, not pearl, or unknown. And you consider each piglin trading session a different data collection session. That rule for binomial distribution does not apply. Because it is a pearl trade, a very unlikely thing, almost all of the rest of the results on the trial, any gold in the ground is all unknown, meaning that the data ends up being distributed like so. Not pearl, not pearl, pearl, not pearl, not pearl, not pearl, not pearl, not pearl, pearl, unknown, 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 unknown. it very much affects the sample, which is again where the bias sampling is very different. Obviously, within a sample set, it seems incredibly unlikely. 1 in 40 billion, but when you start talking about why the sample itself is a matter of sampling bias, it starts to seem more likely. If you decide to pull every run submitted to 1 per 16 random C glitch list, this may seem like a completely random sample. However, you will almost definitely get much higher trade rates than it should be, even though you're taking every single run. This bias is applied because of the fact that the reason you're sampling them is that they were good runs submitted by the leaderboard. Now, this is the case because sometimes, this is not the case because sometimes, but when you start talking about why the sample itself is a matter of sampling bias, it starts to seem more likely. If you decide to pull every run submitted to 1 by 16 random C glitch list, this may seem like a completely random sample. However, you will almost definitely get a much higher per trade rates than it should be. Even though you're taking every single run, the bias is applied because of the fact and the reason you're sampling them is that they were good runs submitted to the leaderboards. Now, there's a chance this isn't the case because sometimes people submit very long ones. But the point is that sampling and how the sampling is collected is very important. On top of that, we're talking about Minecraft and Java. Everything is much more complicated than just strictly 5%. There's glitches, there's things depend on the world, there's things that can be corrupted, there's operating system issues, there's plenty of other things that could fall under the probability of success must be the same caveat of binomial distribution. But then again, these things are unlikely, even more likely when talking about something as specific as pro trades, which are necessary for a good run. So basically, questioning the method of data collection here, as he says, the point of sampling and how the sample is connected is very important. This may suggest he thinks that it is wrong, but the way they collected the information was wrong, but it's not right. Saying it has to avoid doing something, and he's trying to say that bugs do happen because Java is actually kind of glitchy, and like he said, yes, there's glitches, there's corruption, and yes, it's all true, but like I don't know, it's just really some sus signals here because it kind of looks like he's trying to push the blame to the people that are trying to accuse him, but I don't really know. I have a very neutral stance in all of this. So, you guys let me know what you think. And yeah, I have 2 more minutes left. I need to waste away this time very quickly. All right, I have one more screenshot left, and yes, this is an introduction to the misuse of data, which is going to be something I'll be covering in the next call. Misuse of data. Now we can assume with sampling bias taken into account and everything else that it's still very unlikely that the pro traits are just lucky. Just much more likely than 1 in 40 billion. Even if it's 1 in a million, that's still extremely unlikely. However, the likelihood of an event occurring is not the likelihood of someone cheating, which is where I see a lot of people getting very confused. If the likelihood of an event happening is 1 in a million, that doesn't mean that there's a 99.99999 chance that they were cheating for that event to happen. This is here in the example. As writing this, I went to XQC's most recent live streams, and his most recent and portraits in his completely randomly selected sample is 31 or less in the 31 or less trade period. XQC got 33 pros. Wait, what? Which at minimum is 5 pros. Oh, I think it's like percentage. I think. The average will be at least 6. Now, my calculations were correct using the same binomial distribution method used against me. This has a 0.296479541% chance with 6 pro trades and a 0.050943. I'm not even gonna bother reading all of that aloud. 85% chance with 7 pro trades and a 1.43774716% chance with 5 pro trades. Again, on this random sample, it's very unlikely, but it does not mean that there is a 999.95 chance of him cheating. And like, I think he's trying to bring out other people and how they're lucky and how he's the only one who seems to like get flamed for it, even though he might not even cheat. And this is true because like. Uh, I'm just sleepy. I can't really like do much. I'm a bit of a vegetative state. What do you guys think? Let me know down.